this is very sad to me, and I really don't have any wish to disparage the man's legacy, but facts are facts, and we should know exactly who it is we're lauding. And since we did laud him on the show, I felt the need to round back to this. One of the things he said was that he wanted more than anything his legacy to not be friends, but to be the fact that he got sober and helped other people get sober. And the reporting that has now come out, Us Weekly is one thing, with all due respect to Us Weekly, but they have a bombshell cover report this week. But Daily Mail, I'm telling you, Daily Mail, they're pretty vigorous about their fact checking. They're more salacious in the topics they choose, but they do not want to get sued. And they're pretty careful about their fact reporting, irrespective of the spin they may put on it. And there is a woman over there, a reporter, an intrepid gal named Allison Boshoff, who is reporting woman after woman coming forward to say that he violently assaulted them, that he was never sober, that we were sold a bill of goods in his memoir in which he claimed he was sober and all he did was spend his later years helping people get sober. That, as Maureen Callahan wrote up in a great piece that's posted now, his greatest performance was not on Friends. It was as a newly sober good guy who just wanted to help others get clean. Reporting by the Daily Mail that he cheated on his fiancée with young women as young as 19, that his, quote, sober coach, a woman he described in his memoir as Erin, and friend and assistant, and who he praised, wound up allegedly being shoved by him into a wall, thrown onto a bed. She cut off all contact with him, that she had a coffee table hurled at her. That was the ex-fiance, sorry, after she dared to break up with him. I mean, we could keep going. And they're basically saying it was a lie. And this, addicted guy never did conquer that beast and really just did what he did best in that memoir and in his interview with Diane Sawyer, which was act. What do you make of it, Will?
I'm always a little bit torn after someone dies and then allegations start coming out about someone. You're like, what do you really believe? The person isn't even there to defend themselves. But in this situation, I would say that I would look at these women and it seems pretty, I guess you could say airtight, especially with the Daily Mail coming and reporting on it and saying these things. And I would say that is probably true. And what it goes to show me in all of this more than anything is that Hollywood is an evil place, with people who are all liars, with people who don't really care about actually being good people. They care about selling an image of being a good person. And that's why it's like, why are we putting so much credence and talking about these people and saying like, oh, this celebrity, this A-list person who lives in this mansion, who has no ties to what a normal person goes through. Why am I taking even life advice from this type of person in these types of things? Like, to me, it just, the way that this is and how we're viewing it is so much more of a lack of good priorities on the normal American's part, that we are heralding these people up, putting them up so high on a pedestal. And then when they fall down, being shocked and surprised that they weren't actually these good people. These people are in Hollywood. These are the worst people in America, really, other than maybe some of the big pharma people. But these are the people who care really nothing about us and are doing it all for vanity. Why would you expect them to be telling the truth about these things?
It is an industry that corrupts. There's no question. Evita, it's interesting. He, in his memoir, he described this so-called Erin, that was a pseudonym. She's come out, and we know her name is Morgan Moses now. Again, that's from Boshoff's reporting. He talked about her in the memoir. Here's some audio in which he described her.
I met her 2 years earlier at another rehab where she had been working at the time. I didn't get sober back then, but I saw how wonderful she was in every way and promptly stole her from the sober living rehab and made her my assistant. And she became my best friend. She, too, understood the nature of addiction and would come to know my struggles better than any doctor I'd ever seen. Despite the comfort that Erin brought to the situation, I still spent many sleepless nights in Southern California. Sleep is a real issue for me, especially when I'm in one of those places. That said, I don't think I've ever slept more than 4 hours straight in my entire life. It didn't help that we'd been watching nothing but prison documentaries, and I was coming off so much Xanax my brain had fried to the point where I was convinced that I was an actual prisoner and that this sober living place was an actual jail.
You tell me, Evita. I feel like to Will's point, we have a thing as Americans, and it's to our credit, but it's not always right. We need to build people back up after they've fallen. Like, we need to root for people's redemption chapter.
I think we never really know what's going on behind the scenes when it comes to celebrities, when it comes to politicians. It was a great Elon Musk quote from just a short while ago where he said, we have so many people who care about looking good while doing evil. And so obviously this audio book and this projection that he wanted to make about his friend and his life and the way that he's just raising awareness was not the full picture. And I'll say I know really genuinely good people in my life, and when they do good things, they do them quietly. They don't
tell you about them.
Exactly. They'll little old ladies who are, knitting clothing for the babies in the NICU, the people who are volunteering at your church, who are the moms who are, making snacks and meals at the end of the day for their families. I mean, these are people who do good things and are good people, and they don't need to parade it around and to brag about it. And to me, anytime we have a celebrity or a politician who is acting in the way that Mathew Perry did before he died, it's a red flag for me.
It is so true, because I can tell you one thing for sure. Whenever you see a celebrity, Meghan Markle or anyone else, in a soup kitchen or a battered women's shelter, domestic violence shelter, there are no cameras in those places. The celebrity has brought in the camera because she or he wants attention on themselves. They want attention on their own good deed. It's like there are a lot of people who go out there and do great things for people who are hurting, and they don't do it because they want credit or to burnish their image. Not saying that was Mathew Perry, but to your point, Will, the Friends cast, they knew this guy was an addict. Why didn't Friends or the producers say, you know what, Mathew Perry, you need to take a year off. You need to go, Chandler is going to go on sabbatical someplace, and you got to get yourself some help. We've heard about those things happening on other shows. Instead, they definitely knew. Here he was talking to Diane Sawyer, describing his behavior on the set. Here's SOT 14.
You had no trouble with the lines. You had no trouble with the timing. You had no trouble showing up every day.
Early on, yes. And I made a rule that I would never drink or take anything at work. So I would never do that. But I would show up blindly hungover, like shaking and crazy hungover.
So you tell me why somebody didn't intervene and insist that their, quote, friend get some help.
Well, I don't think these people really want to intervene, I guess you could say. I mean, the producers and the directors and all of these types of people getting into these positions, I feel like this is the norm for many of these types of people. So they want to come and step in or be a good person when in reality, all the people around them are doing similar things, maybe not to the exact same extent as someone like this, but people are doing all sorts of sinful behavior and living immorally and kind of presenting that image of virtue. I think I said it on your show last time I was on, that we live in a post-virtue world, but really we live in a post-virtue world where people show that they are virtuous fakely more now than ever before. And that's what it really seems to come down to.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's make a resolution that's easy to keep and delivers immediately on its promise. With Genucel skincare, you can turn back the clock and look 5, 10, even 15 years younger. And right now, Genucel skincare is celebrating 2024 with its New Year's sales event. Save over 70% off all your Genucel must-haves in their most popular package. Say goodbye to those fine lines, forehead wrinkles, sagging jawlines, dark marks, skin redness, even under-eye bags, and leave them behind in 2023. For women and men, safe for all skin types and perfect for skin of any age. Plus, with its immediate effects product, Genucel promises results guaranteed or 100% of your money back. For a limited time, Genucel's top-selling hyaluronic acid serum is included free in every most popular package. Maximum skin hydration for a more youthful appearance. Go to Genucel.com/MK60 and enter MK60 at checkout for extra savings. Every order upgraded to free shipping. Don't wait. Genucel.com/MK60. GENUCEL.com/MK60. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.